Hey everybody, Jo here. Thanks so much for popping in. I hope you had a lovely weekend and I hope that your new week is starting well. And today I thought I'd come in with this lovely little design, which I've got to be honest, as you know, I love using the circle masks, either your sticker stencils or your acetate circle masks, and just creating this type of design. You know I love my wreaths, but I thought this is sort of a bit like a sort of an opposite type of wreath type thing. Doesn't have to have a name, does it? It's just a nice design. And the stamp in the middle, you know, there are so many different stamps you could use. I've gone for the Acorn Abode, and I've matched it up with some acorns. But I'm thinking, you know what I'm thinking? This could be a Christmas type design, couldn't it? I do love Christmas, you know, and I know it keeps popping in every so often. Now, it all starts with a piece of card, and you know, I've not got a piece ready. There we go. Found it. And let me measure it. I can't remember. Is it a 5-inch? 6-inch. A 6-inch square piece of multifarious card. And I'm going to use the acetate circle mask. And the colours I've gone for are Sahara and truffle, an upside down truffle. I wonder if you can get upside down truffles. Who knows? And I'm going to start off with Sahara. And as always, I've got my lovely stencil brush. And because this is a non-slip, the lid stays really firm. So I can just blend, look, in the lid. The mats are fabulous for this. And I'm just going to pop that sort of in the middle and just hold it. And then I'm just going to start in this lower right hand area because this is where I want my most shade. And then I'm going to work my way round and then just blend a sort of circle-ish. But I want to leave a light area in the middle. And once I'm happy with that, pop the lid on and I'm going to get the truffle. And I'm going to do two things with the truffle. Again, blend in the lid. So I'm just going to hold this again. This darker area, I just want to add a bit more shade down here. So that's where the truffle comes in. But also I'm going to get the smaller of the acetate circle mask and just create the idea of the moon in this top left-hand area. And I don't want it to be too strong. I just want it to be a sort of idea. Yes, happy with that. That's enough. And that's all I'm going to do with those element inks. And I think this, you know, you could do quite a few of these. You could batch make these different colours and then you could decide what to put inside. As I say, for me, Acorn Abode. And I'm going to stamp with the beautiful pine cone. I love this colour. It just works so well. And I'm just going to hover over and then place my stamp there. And then gently lift it up and look. Just stamps beautifully. And then I'm going to come in with woodland ferns. And for these, I'm going to use Shady Lane. And these, if you notice with the woodland ferns, they sort of point different ways. So I'm going to use the large one first. And then I'm just going to use the shape of the circle we've got and put first generation there, roughly on that shape. Second, and then a third coming in. Does that make sense if I show you? So we've got first, second, third. And then I'll do the same with the smaller one. But this I'm just going to put opposite. So I'm going to put this here, but roughly on that same sort of shape. And then we'll have second and third. And then I'm going to do this, just checking you can see, sort of opposite-ish. I say ish, it's a hand-created design, so just ish is fine. And again, So I'll pop it here and follow that shape. First, second, third. And the same again here. Put the stems together. First, second, third. And this just gives me, got a couple of marks, just ignore those. This just gives me the basis, the beginning of a nice design. And I love that, the fact that we're opposite. So I'll give those a wipe. And then next, I've got this lovely little stamp, the Acorn. Now, I'm going to mask this. And what I'm going to do is we have our lovely masking sheets. It will get a bit of glare, I'm sorry, from the light. And all you do is stamp on the paper side, the tissue side, and then cut it out. Now, I've already cut a couple out, and I always keep mine on the acetate that my stamps are on. So what we'll do first, and if you've not done masking before, and I know we've got some lovely new friends and followers, you always stamp the nearest stamp to you first. So if we put the Acorn here, then I'm just going to whiz it round and pop one here. And then what I'm going to do is just give those a bit of a blot. And then take the mask. Now again, you can use these quite a few times. So we'll pop that. And I'm going to put them both on because, you know, if I just put one on, I'll forget and get carried away and stamp on the other without its mask on. I know what I'm like. Do you ever do that? Make a mask and then forget to put it on? Or is it just me? So I'm staying with the same colour and I'm just going to stamp another Acorn there and then whiz it round and another one here. Turn it round and the same thing, we'll have another one there and another one there. And then we've got this lovely design. Now I'm just going to use my scissors. Just look, I find it easier to do that. And then I'm going to pop these on the back of that acetate. There we go. And keep those because you can use them, well, 4 or 5 times. And can you see how that lovely design is building up? Now, I want to add a little bit of colour in here. So I've got a lovely set here. And this is called the foliage set. And on it, you've got this lovely stamp here, which has sort of got some little flowers on. So I'm going to use that and I'm going to come in with strawberry just to add some lovely red to the design. Now a little tip, this has got quite a long stem on it, look, and I don't want that. So if I just ink up in the corner, look, I can just get the florally bit, and that's what I want. So I just want to build up here some lovely flowers and the red. So what I tend to do is decide, so the flowers are going to be red, obviously, and then what I'll do is I'll colour the door red and then it matches beautifully. So again, just keep inking up. Now it might be you want to do a blue door, so it might be you want beautiful blue flowers. I think it's the red flowers that made me think of Christmas, you see. And then just turn it round and decide if you've got enough, or I think we'll just have a few more over here. Yes, I think we've got plenty there. And then we're going to add some colour. So I'm going to get my lovely colouring pencils and I'm just going to get my Wink of Stella as well and a little bit of kitchen roll to lean on. And the colours I'm going for, the red is number 170, and I'll colour the door first so I can put the red. Now it might be you want to use, these are the Mondeluz pencils, so whatever you want to use for your colouring, be it pencils, pens, and again, you will take longer than me. You'll just spend some lovely time colouring. So for the rest, I've gone for number 2, number 5, 29 and 32. And all I'm going to do is start with my yellow, and I'm going to colour the Acorn Abode first. And as I say again, you'll spend time and really enjoy your colouring. I'm just going to do a nice quick bit of colouring. So I'm starting with my yellow, and again at the top of these stones, just where there'd be highlight, I'll add some yellow. Then I'm going to come in with my dark brown, and just where I know there'd be shadow, so under here, look, there'll be shadow. And down here there's shadow. And Tracy puts dots, so if you're not sure on your shadows, just see where Tracy's put those dots, and that'll help. So at the bottom of the stones, and then on here. Also, you've got your moon up there, so you know that the base down here will be in shadow. So it will be darker. So we can do quite a dark area there. And then with my mid-brown, I'm just going to come in. And again, as I say, and quickly, just going to blend that colour. And again, on a large area, I tend to use circular motions just to blend the colours together. And then when I come in with my Wink of Stella, obviously, it will blend even more. I'm just going to use the clear. So with these, I'm just going to put lovely light yellow area in the middle. And then again, adding that shadow so we know there'll be shade at the base, look. And under there. And it's amazing how you can create shape by doing this. But you clever lot know that already, don't you? And then with my mid colour, and again I'm just keeping my pencils, just hold them in my hand. Just for me, I don't put them on my desk. I find it's better for time, but also they don't roll on the floor then. And turn it round. Again, you want to make it easy for yourself. So, yellow first. And then the darker brown. Just round those edges, so underneath. And then round the edges, like I say, just to give shape and perspective. And I'm hoping you'll get yourself a nice brew and you enjoy your colouring. There we go. So once you got to this stage, and the orange, I've just got the orange to add a couple of little highlights, just wherever you fancy, just to bring in almost those warmer tones. And once you've got to this stage, it's the Clear Wink of Stella. So what I'll do first, if we'll colour the house, I'll just start on the yellow areas. And I'm just adding where that yellow colour is, look. And the same on the stones. So just go to the yellow first, and then I'm going to blend into that next colour and into the dark. And it looks absolutely beautiful. If you've gone to the dark area, just clean it on your kitchen roll and then back into that light brown look. And because it blends it means that quick colouring I did, it blends it beautifully. Same sort of thing, clean your brush. And then if I start with the yellow, I don't want to contaminate. I want to keep the yellow nice and bright, you see. And then once I've coloured all the yellow, I can just go into the brown then. And as I say, for a beautiful, quick bit of colouring, you will obviously spend a lot longer and your colouring will be a lot neater. But I'm conscious you might not have a lot of time to watch me colour. So into the yellow first, and then into that mid-brown and blend it into the dark brown. And it really does pop. But as I say, it just makes your colouring look like you've spent ages. Remember to clean it. And then I'm just going to come in with the door because we haven't coloured the door. I'm doing the door last because obviously it's bright red. And again, important, look, clean that lovely pen. But if I bring it closer, can you see how it just fills in and how that colour pops? Now, there's a little area around here, and what I decided I was use my lovely bronze Signo pen, just because I was worried that the yellow and the red might just run into each other. But also I think it edges it beautiful in the copper, goes so well with those tones. Now, white highlights. Obviously, I have mentioned before, what happens is, with the Wink of Stella, as it dries, the white highlights will show up more, but I just want to show you roughly where I'd put them. So just sort of add yourself. As I say, I'll go back over these when my Wink of Stella is dry. But just add some lovely, and again at the top here, and again the moon's there. So we'll just get the top of these, and where we've got that yellow, and the stones, look, if you add some lovely white highlights just in the yellow areas, can you see how it really does make it pop? And I have to say, I think it's built up really quickly. And the finishing tricks we're going to add today, I'm just going to wipe my circle mask, pop it back on, and I'm going to add some Wink of Stella, the yellow sparkly. So again, a good shake, but I just want it in the circle look. And you know we had a little black mark there. For those of you that noticed, well, once I put my little Posca around it, believe you me, you won't see it. And that's what we do. Lift that up. And I want one of our lovely sentiment stickers. And again, which one do you think? Go on, shout at me. I know, thank you, because I think this would make a lovely thank you card. So I'll pop it on my scissors, and actually, where that mark is, look, I could put it right over that. See, another way of hiding it. And then the final little trick, we want some of our lovely stickles, so the glitter glue. And this one is Stardust, and I'm just going to do a bit of a dot and dab. So just in the middle where the flowers are here, just put a dot on each, and then just with my finger, just going to dab it. Because I just want a hint of sparkle in there. I don't want it too much, and then give my finger a bit of a wipe. But I just think that design, I think you clever lot. There are lots of different choices of stamps you can put in the middle and on these lovely sort of flower arranged bits. And I can't wait to see which ones you choose. And I know you're going to share, but I do think Christmas, autumn, Christmas. I mean, it might be you coming into spring. Maybe spring design. What do you think? Or maybe just take this. I think you could do a lovely Christmas design with this area and just add some holly, mini holly. Might do that myself. And these almost look like bells, don't they? Oh, do you know what? So many ideas. I love it when you're shouting ideas at me. So I hope you've enjoyed that, and I hope it gives you some inspiration So please, when you create something, put it on our lovely Lavinia For You Facebook group and share. I love it when you share. And tag me in, please, so I can see what you do. Because I bet you've got ideas floating round already. Right, I'd better go. Time to walk Mr. Eric. I'll see you again tomorrow. Take care, everybody. Love and hugs from me. Bye for now.